What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're obviously going to be painting the camper shell. So just an FYI, and I want to just kind of say this before we do anything. We are not professional painters. We don't really know what we're doing. We're just kind of giving this a shot. We're going to do base coat, clear coat on this. Like I keep saying, we're not too sure what we're doing, but we're giving it a shot and we're having fun learning. Obviously, we're not after professional results. We're just out here in our backyard having fun on a weekend. We figured we'd give this a shot. Worst comes to worst, we screw it up, we sand it back down, and we fix our mistakes and we learn. So I figured I'd bring you guys along on the journey and show you guys what we're doing. Obviously, if you have any advice or any recommendations, feel free to leave it down in the comment section. That way I can learn off of it, and all the viewers can also learn off of the professional painters watching this video. So far this shell was pretty clean. What we've done is we shortened it up to make it fit on our truck. I believe this was from a Toyota, but I'm not too sure exactly what it was off of. Previous owner didn't also know. So we had to shorten it and we had to cut it back, and we ended up building this inner structure in here that you see. So I will have that video up here in case you guys want to see how we did that. And then how we cut it and all that. I have that all on the channel. Now we are going to be color matching this to the truck. It is an orange metallic that came on the 85 model of the Nissan 720 ST model. How we were able to get the paint is we gave them the paint code that is on the truck, and we also gave them the gas door. That way they can get the paint code and kind of start to figure out what color they need to make the paint. And then the gas door is to kind of try to copy the amount that it's faded onto the paint. So this right here is all of the equipment that we're going to be using. We're going to be using a $15 Harbor Freight spray gun. This is the cheapest one that they do offer. Now, I'm not going to be using the regulator that they have. This is a regulator that I got at Home Depot. I believe it's from 0 to I think 140 psi. And then I also got this air moisture filter from Home Depot as well. I know Harbor Freight has the little red ones, which they work good enough, but they only work for about like 5 minutes of spray painting, and then water and moisture starts to get through. So this one is a lot better. So I got these two from Home Depot a while ago. You can see when I painted my truck, they're all yellow. And then this is a brand new $15 Harbor Freight spray gun that we're going to be using. Show you guys a receipt right here. We also got a couple more things, but you can see that the total came out to just under $200. So for $200 and a spray gun, let's just call it $250. For $250, we're going to be able to paint the camper shell with a nice quality paint and not your off-the-shelf rattle can spray paint. Also, guys, be sure to wear a mask, a respirator of some sort. This one's by 3M, but anything is better than nothing. Just make sure that you do use a respirator and not a typical like cloth mask, because that pretty much won't do anything. The chemicals in the clear and in the paint and the hardener and the activators, it's super toxic and super harmful for you. So make sure to cover up. I know some people are like, oh, that's like an extra 30 bucks I gotta spend, but trust me, I'd much rather spend 30 bucks on a quality respirator and get a cheaper gun. So just FYI. Before you do any painting with a Harbor Freight spray gun, you're going to want to make sure to clean all of the insides and clean the tip, because they do make these with cheap materials, so they rust pretty easily. And the way they make sure that they don't rust, so when you buy it, it's not all rusted out, is they put oils in here. You can see it's all dirty from the little debris that's gotten in there, but you can see the oils and stuff that they put in there simply so it doesn't rust. But obviously that gets contaminates the paint, so we don't want any of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this all apart and we're going to put it in a little bucket like this, similar to this. The way I like to think about these guns is they are a one-time use. If you use them one time with acetone and all of the chemicals inside of the paint, when it goes through this gun, it's going to rust out. So use it one time, it's good for one time, maybe 2 times. You use it and you want to use it the next weekend, I would honestly say throw it away and buy a new one, just because they do rust out and then your spray pattern will be all off. You'll have a bunch of issues. So use it one time, clean it really nice and good, make sure it's all good. Use it. It works pretty good for, like I said, one-time use. These guns aren't that bad. It's all about setting it up and how you paint. So once you get it all clean, you paint, throw it away, get a new one. They're only $15. So you can see I got some acetone in there, and now you're going to see all of the oils come out. Look at that. It should come out clear. Obviously, the more you do it, the more clear it's going to come out. But, and also keep in mind, I don't have it hooked up to air. Now that we got it all clean, Now we can reassemble it. Now what we're gonna do in order to test out and set it up is we're gonna put some more acetone in here. We're gonna hook it up with some air and we're going to get our pattern down. The way I like to do it, now obviously like I said, if you guys are professionals, chime in, let us know what to do. But I'm just gonna show you guys what I'm doing. So the way I do it is I set it at 40 just to start off, and then from there we're gonna go and have fun and adjust it as we go. But to initially start, I'm gonna set it at 40. And then after that, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set this, the tip of this, 6 inches, roughly 6 inches away from what I'm painting. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set it up. So like I said, roughly 6 inches, obviously we're not gonna measure this, but roughly. This is just acetone. That's all the way open. Need to get close. That would obviously make it run. So now we have the paint. Now we have to mix it up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix it 1 to 1. So 1 part paint, 1 part reducer. You're never gonna get this to look consistent just because of the way the metallic flake is, but you want to mix it, you know, a solid 5 to 10 minutes. Make sure everything is nice and good. Like I said, you're never gonna mix it and it's gonna look perfect. So once you feel like you mix it enough, you don't feel any clumps in the bottom, it's nice and smooth, then that's when you want to put it into your measuring cup. And like I said, we're gonna do 1 to 1, which is this guy right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this much paint on the number 1, and then we're gonna match it to the number 1 over here. So it'd be 1 part paint and then 1 part reducer. Or if you want to mix more, you could do go all the way to the 2, that's just the amount, and then match the other 2. Now that we have the paint all nice and mixed up, now we're going to be using one of these cone filters to get any last debris that got in there. Now we shouldn't have much, but we still want to use this before we put it into the gun and jam it up. About 2.5 coats. Now I'm not too sure what's going on up here. There's 2 things that I think it could be. I think one could be that the prep work wasn't done very good. My dad did all the prep work. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think that that's what's causing it, is the sanding marks where he sanded it from side to side and then forward, and I feel like that's what's kind of screwing us up. And then 2, this is a metallic paint, so I'm noticing that it is way harder to paint than a solid paint job. Obviously, given that I don't really know what I'm doing and then I'm jumping into a metallic, there is a big difference there. And then also the gun is more than likely not set up correctly. Now I have an understanding of how to set it up, but it's probably not set up to the ideal way to set it up for metallic paint. I'm also thinking that it might just need more paint. I think it's just a little too thin right now, because I did it a little heavier over here and it kind of covered it up because it was looking like this. So I'm going to try to put a little bit less reducer in the paint this time and then give it another shot. Hopefully I don't ruin it, but we do have plans to put a rag top on this. So worst comes to worst, all we need is the sides to look good, since this whole center section is going to get cut out for the rag top if it comes to, worst comes to worst. But if everything comes out good, then we might rock it like this. But we're having fun so far. Color's pretty good. I think it is going to match pretty good to what is on the truck right now. Obviously, like I keep saying, prep work isn't that good. I didn't even check this. I just came and helped spray it. Alrighty, so here is the finished results as far as the base coat. Now, I'm going to let it dry for a little bit, and then I'm going to start to mix up the clear to throw the clear on. So it did, I think it did fix itself a little. I think what I ended up doing that helped was I lowered the pressure a little bit, and I ended up overlapping more. So initially I was doing 50-50, and I also ended up making my span, I opened it up all the way almost, and then just backed it off a little bit. And then I did almost like a 40-60. So I would spray and then overlap it 60%. And that's kind of what I was doing. And this is the results we have. Now, obviously, if you look at it in the direct sunlight, you can tell that there is some streaks. And I think that is me not knowing exactly what I'm doing, and two, it being metallic paint. Like I keep saying, worst comes to worst, we'll cut the roof off of this thing and we'll put a rag top, which is the plan already. So I'm not too concerned about it, but I did want to kind of lay the paint nice on there first try. But obviously, I'm going to need some practice before I can do something like that. But I think the most important thing to take out of this is I'm having a blast learning how to paint, and I'm having a blast with my dad painting this thing. So that's kind of all that matters. If we screw it up, who cares? We are making memories and having fun, which is all that matters. All right, so now for the clear, we're gonna do 4-to-1. Alrighty guys, well here is the finished product. Now there is, like I said, a bit of orange peel. So in the next video, we'll probably address the orange peel that you can see right there. So we'll probably address the orange peel. I'll show you guys how to get rid of it, because if you're a bad painter like me, then you know how to fix orange peel, because you have to typically do it. If you can paint something and you don't have orange peel, then that's how you know you're a good painter. So sadly, I'm still working on it, still working on my painting skills, but this is for sure fixable. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to wet sand it, and then I'm going to buff it, and then make it all nice and pretty. So hopefully in the next video I will do that, and then I'll probably get this thing all put back together, put the rear window back on, put the side windows on. I did get the side windows trimmed, the trims polished up for my dad, so we'll be able to throw that on and hopefully put it on the truck and see what it looks like, all color matched and polished trims and everything. Guys, I'm honestly getting pretty fed up, because I know there is a couple of you, actually there's a lot of you guys who are currently watching this video, yet you have a project of some sort, whether it's a mini truck or a car, sitting out back getting rotted while you're over here watching videos and not putting that useful time into that project. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, I don't have money. You don't need to have much time or money. Time, I understand. Sometimes you get home from work, working 12-hour shifts, whatever, 14-hour shifts. Yes, I get that you're tired. But money, trust me, guys, you don't need money. You just need creativity. So if you're smart and you can get creative, you can definitely work on your cars. Yes, maybe you can't buy a brand new LS motor for your mini truck that you want to swap in, but you can start to pull the old motor out, clean it up, degrease it, wash it. Even if you work on your project, let's say 30 minutes a day, that's still a lot more than if it was just sitting there for 5-6 months at a time without even being touched. So just work on your trucks, guys. Trust me, or your projects. And for all you guys who say, oh, I don't know how to paint, I don't know how to work on cars, guys, I don't either. If I mess up, then screw it. I'll pay someone to fix it if I mess up that bad. If not, then I'll figure out how to fix it. So I know a lot of people tell me, oh, I don't want to paint my truck because I don't know how. Guys, I don't know how. Do a little bit of research, watch some videos, and go out there and try it. Worst comes to worst, you mess it up and you have to pay someone. But first, I would recommend that you guys try it. Stop making excuses. If you're watching this video during the daytime, shame on you. You should be working on that project. Now, if you're watching this before you go to bed or at nighttime or whenever you're, not able to actually work on it, then I understand. I appreciate you watching the video. But if you're watching the video during the daytime, shame on you. Shame on you. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.